Hey YouTube, Raven here. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful, blessed day. So today I have a revelation for you. I don't have one all the time, so I'm just going to give you the understanding that I have from the will of God that He gave to me. Samson and Delilah. A lot of you guys are in Samson and Delilah relationships, giving them all kind of different titles. Trying to decipher the will of God upon your head so they can take your crown and turn it over to the enemies that they serve, because they are their father's daughter, and God doesn't want you to be involved with Satan's daughters at all. So pray for discernment if you don't have any, because they're prepping you to be defeated. It's like the first time Samson had a issue with I forget the people he was having a problem with. God had a problem with them too. It was God's rage against them that he brought. So he was giving them, I have no idea why he was giving them like was it like a parable or some kind of riddles. They were doing riddles, and they had such anger against God, and he carried God's wrath. So he was destroying whole colonies of soldiers alone. So and the women that he liked were of the same women of the people he was destroying, that the people who God's rage was against. So how I'm in God's will and I'm attracted to the enemy trying to do God's will. All the anger and might of God was against those people, and all of the anger and might against the enemy was in those people against him. So they told her they were gonna burn her house down and do stuff to her, but she probably already had it in her spirit to want to do it anyway, because she's just like Judas, but a girl. So so she cried and she wept and moaned fakely for 7 days, because they're persistent. You see, they're persistent. It's just like a DMV test. You just get asked the same question like 50 million times because they're just like super persistent. And then he felt like he was close to her after so long of them being together, and then he revealed himself and she was able to betray him, and she didn't hesitate. She kept practicing. She kept taking him for his word, because he kept giving her different things of what is the power of God? How do you get the power from God? How are you connected to God? Blah blah blah. Then he was like, oh, because my toenails are long. If my toenails grow long, then I'll be powerful from God. So then she would cut his toenails. These are just examples. And then and she would tell the Philistines, and then the Philistines would try to come and get him, and they would bind him with rope. And actually, she's in the procedure of actually betraying this man. So she's like what she says? She's like, the Philistines are upon you. The Philistines are here. The Philistines are gonna get you. all of this stuff was happening while he was asleep to the world, where he was not alive to the world at all. He was gone. He was asleep. And he woke up, he broke the ropes, and he killed all of the Philistines that was coming in his house, that she let him in. She let them in, and then everything, I guess, faded back to normal. She went back to her same shenanigans. She actually began, you told me that if I cut your toenails, that that was the strength of God. Like, I don't even see how he didn't understand that that's what she was doing, because sometimes people are asleep to the will of God, and sometimes people's spirits need like a nudge. I mean, once he enlightens you just a pin second, then everything also makes sense, and then you can move how you need to move. And I'm not sure why he wasn't even curious why she kept on asking, but she was like, he betrayed her. She act like he betrayed her after she was actually trying to betray him for his life. And because he didn't tell her the truth, she came at him because she was mad because she couldn't sacrifice his life. That's so weird. So she came to Samson again and was like, you lied last time. So how? And he was like, well, they said if I wear this jacket all the time, then I'll have God's strength, and I've always had God's strength. So she took the jacket, she tore the jacket up, she let the Philistines in, they tied him up, and then she was like, Samson, the Philistines is upon you. The Philistines are here. The Philistines are gonna get you. And then he woke up, he tore the rope, and he killed all the Philistines, and he did the same thing again. The third time, she was furious because she couldn't betray him, because all of the men from the Philistines were going to give her $1,300 apiece. And back in that time, it was too much money. So they do that. They be upset with you because they can't treat you and do to you what you don't want them to do and what God doesn't want them to do. And they try to make it seem like they're the victim and the villain. Like, how could you not let me hurt you? How could you not let me come against you in the way that doesn't please you? Why? So the third time, she was so upset with him, and she put the pressure on because she really wanted to sacrifice him. Obviously, she didn't. They wanted to sacrifice him. They wanted to mock him. They wanted to do all the things that people do to the people of God now, and they don't have. What do you gain? Nothing. Anyway, so later that night, later on, many nights after, I'm sure, she's like, Samson, you know how they put the pressure on. You're a liar. You act like you can't trust me. You act like I haven't. Look at all the stuff I've done for you. All these different things to persuade her so she can persuade him to reveal himself, so she can betray him, because it is what it is. That's what betrayers do. So he said, fine. The locks that I've had on my head, I've been growing them since birth. I've been anointed since I was in the womb, and I haven't been able to drink or smoke all the days of my life, and all I've been doing is just serving God, So then that night he went to sleep, and then she took a razor, and she took a razor and she cut off all his locks, cut him bald. And then she invited the Philistines in quiet like little rats. And then they tied him up. They bound him. That's how they say it in the Bible. They were like, they bound him. And so after they bound him, and she cut his hair and already got him ready for slaughter. She's like, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. The Philistines are here. The Philistines, I don't even know what. Don't hurt him. And they're just like smacking him up and beating him up. And at that time, they've actually gained victory over Samson. Temporary victory. So then they dragged him through the town, humiliating him, and disrespecting him because that's all they wanted to do and hurt him. And then they took some hot coals and then they put them on his eyeballs, and then he couldn't see no more. His eyes were just like melted shut or something, because I seen the movie, so that's why I have it kind of like in my imagination, but I can only imagine, like, I would never want to imagine that. But then, so they were like, that's the last thing he's gonna see. They just wanted to just humiliate him and his soul to the farthest. They're just bad people. That's just the kind of people y'all be messing with. And that's why I think about the multicultural relationships. You better get from up under those heathens. Then they brought him into the tabernacle of all of their people who are against God, the Philistines. They were all having to get together. They were drinking and smoking and partying, and they had him standing there as a slave to mock him, and everybody would throw stuff on him. I'm just exaggerating, but if all those people are against you, they're not gonna just stand there. They probably throwing stuff at him. And then she's just looking and peeking behind one of the pillars, the big cement pillars. And he prayed to God. He said, Lord, if you are still with me, grant me your strength one last time, so he could die in the glory of God, because he was ready to just take them out and himself. He was done at that point. So God bestowed his strength upon him one last time. And then he pushed the pillars as hard as he could, y'all. And then they all fell on, every last one of them. There was not one of them that the pillars didn't fall out on. And that was the end of the Philistines. But the spirit of the Philistines are still here. It's just like those people where you meet them like 1,000 times, but they be in different people. Lord have mercy. So, yeah. That was crazy. It was another revelation too. Give me just a moment. I got it. Pharaoh reminds me of Pharaoh. My grandson's name is Pharaoh too, you guys. God bless him. I plead the blood on him. On how he didn't want to let his people go. It's just it depicts, it gives me the same story of Satan. And how he tries to go to war with something that he's not equipped to go to war with. Similar same stages are going to take place, because God is going to pass over. God is going to send the plagues. We can learn a lot of stuff from the past, because for some reason the past repeats itself. And he's forewarning him to let his people go. But he's probably not going to want to let them go. And he's probably going to be a reflection to the Antichrist of people who are against God. Take it out. I turned it off. So, it's just like the form of what happened with Pharaoh, with Lucifer, but through the people, which are the Antichrist, right? So, it's a more of an eternal fight and inside. So, Highness, please don't do that. What? Just get out of here. It's not funny. I love you too. So, it's more of an eternal fight. So Pharaoh won't be sitting on a high throne, but the same exact thing will happen. It's like a whole lot of pharaohs, you know what I'm saying? And God is wanting for them to live in the spirit of God, but they don't want to. It's just like the same kind of story. If you can get it, you probably won't get it because I just said a whole lot of words and I didn't say any Bible verses.